It's 5 o'clock and you're off the clock with B Scott. Today with us, we got Mike Hogg from Third Coast Performance, and he's doing some very exciting stuff that's changing up the industry, I would say tenfold. It's definitely a big deal for what we do.
What I'm saying, I'm liking it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's awesome.
It's exciting for guys like us that go after performance. We go after pushing things to the next level, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, it is. Well, tell us a little bit about what you got going on, man.
Yeah, well, first off, I want to say that's exciting to be here with you guys.
Thank you.
And thanks for inviting me to be part of this podcast. Yeah, I mean, I have a intercooled turbo system that bolts onto a EFI big block Vanguard, 37s, 40s, or even 35s that's been converted, to EFI, so you can do any of those. We've managed to successfully get an amazing power gain by doing this. So there's other turbo systems out there, and we went the same route as you guys. Me personally, I go for efficiency and design.
That's right.
And that's what's going to prevail. So you can tell that our turbos are extremely efficient. You bolt them on a boat, and like I noticed with y'all's boat, that Mod 40, I mean, it went to 47 miles an hour, on just a bolt-on kit on a stock 40. So the biggest thing that so far is people have been, where you said, like, kind of change the market, or tenfold, kind of turned upside down, is before all these guys, let's say us three were in a boat, it's a big heavy boat, and we try to give it gas and go somewhere where we can't.
No,
y'all are boat guys, so you're not going to walk into a dealership unless you have to, but you're not going to go to a dealership and say, hand me that 20-foot barge right there, and then hand me that 40-horse tiller handle in the corner, to power it. You're going to say, no, hand me that 125, that it's rated for.
Yeah.
Or bigger, that's what I want. I want as much power as I can get.
Okay.
And so that's really why the turbo systems have taken off. It's easy to put on, even self-installed. It is like minimally invasive into the engine. You don't have to really have that much mechanical knowledge to install.
And I think that's what makes it special, because that appeals to a bigger audience of people. Customer base.
Yeah. They can put it on there. They have me that they call all the time. And so follow up with the customer service. I've been big on that, and that's helped me prevail too. But the next thing is not have to send your boat to a builder for months, waiting on it. Yeah. And then you're married to that builder too. And that's the next thing. If you get a builder to go in there and something happens or whatever, well, you got to get back with him. If you try to bring it somewhere else to another shop, they're going to say, hey, you got so-and-so to build it. How about you go talk to that man?
Right.
And they're not going to touch it. So as we're, a turbo system, being that you're not really doing anything internal with the bolt-on or even like my Stage 2 kit, and there's nothing internal, everything's, still stock.
Yeah.
So people can work on it without being intimidated.
So are you seeing a lot of guys just buying the kits from you and putting them on themselves? Or are you doing more of that? Or are you doing more of bring the boat to me and let me set your boat up for you?
So that is a big benefit that people like, is every boat that, comes to me or to a dealer or whatever, is, of course, it's warranted, because it's hard for me to warranty something. I mean, I work with customers, like if it's an obvious
So
problem.
do you carry the warranty on the boat? Because, because Briggs isn't going to carry the warranty, right? I mean, are they going to carry the warranty on the motor?
So the way Briggs's paperwork is set up, is a modified exhaust. Well, what is a turbo system?
Right.
It's a modified exhaust, right? So it doesn't really clarify, say, hey, we're going to void your warranty over forced induction.
Right.
But it does say, like performance parts like build systems and stuff.
Yeah.
But it says that you can modify the exhaust and you're going to be okay.
Right.
So it's a real gray area right there. And I'm sure that's coming into, as big as the turbo systems is taking off, I'm sure that's coming in, pretty quickly.
It's probably becoming maybe an issue, but most guys that's going to spend that kind of money that's looking for performance,
they're not worried about the warranty.
They don't care about the warranty.
Yeah,
no,
they're done with warranty.
No, they want to race. I mean, anybody that races ain't worried about.
It's just like the guys
warranty.
that delete their trucks.
Yeah. I mean, this is not. When I'm looking for horsepower, I'm probably okay with it blowing up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, so that horsepower that people's wanting that you're giving them, it's increasing the whole shot.
Mhm.
It's increasing the top end. I mean, what about fuel economy? Is it making them drink more gas or what?
So I haven't noticed like a huge change, and so most of our fuel tanks are either 6 or 12-gallon tanks.
Right.
So I mean, we've put 8 hours on a boat with a turbo system and still had fuel left in our 6-gallon tank. So even if you are using a little bit more fuel, it's not noticeable. But
Okay, that's
but
nice.
yeah, but I mean, you have to be using more fuel because now you're getting more power,
power, yeah.
more air, more fuel.
I mean,
Which I don't think people necessarily care about.
No, not when they're going for
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah, I
you
mean
know?
that's one of
Again,
those areas where it's like they're going to sacrifice either taking a little bit more fuel or not being able to go as far.
Yeah.
For
I
the
mean,
experience and the power that they're going to have.
I like to go fast.
Yeah.
And I don't
I mean,
care how much
we
gas
all
it
like to go
uses.
And it
fast.
takes fuel to do so.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. It's fast. I mean, why not squeeze it? Throttle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, just rip on it and have fun.
So
Yeah, and it's a mud boat, right?
Yeah, it's
so
a
it's
mud
like
boat.
it's a toy.
It is.
yeah, I mean it's a tool too.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
see a lot of these guys put these boats and these motors to absolute
Oh
test.
yeah.
So how long you been doing this? I mean,
So I've been playing with these mud boats since 2010.
mhm.
We've been even some of the first builders. We all kind of been playing around, fixing our buddies' boats and everything else. And then as the industry progressed, some other friends of mine, they went and opened up businesses doing this kind of stuff. And then companies emerged in South Louisiana and stuff like that. And then the whole industry's been growing over the past 10 years, especially in the performance industry. And then we've had other companies from other industries coming in making parts and stuff like that. So it's really helping us grow. But as far as me, of course I've been messing with them since 2010. But as far as professionally, with a shop and everything else, it's only been 3 years.
Yeah, and your wife and your kids and everybody helps you do this, or it's a big family business.
Yeah. So and it's nice too because I've had a record business too since I was 20. Yeah, when I turned 20, I opened up a record company, and and you're always traveling. You're always gone, and you're always in a truck. And then we opened up in 6 different states, and so I was always on a plane. And it was back and forth, managing people and employees and stuff. And it was it was a big thing. And then COVID hit, and of course, it brought me back. Brought me back home, which was good. I mean, yeah, we took a big hit, because nobody wanted to touch anybody and be near anyone and whatever. So they didn't. Of course, you're a tow truck guy. Somebody's broke down, and then people couldn't travel. Right? They had travel restrictions and curfews and So as far as you can imagine, the transportation company, it almost killed it. But at that same point, in the I guess the silver lining in that gray cloud is it brought me home. So the first 2 years of my little girl's life, I was gone. But anyway, so whenever I came back, we started our company here, and I'm one of those that's I've always got to be doing something. Something have to happen. And so whenever the growth of my record business, came to a standstill with COVID, I was just sitting idle. And bored. And of course, I love mud boats. The mud motors, I like working on them. I like the people, I like the culture, and the community. So, so I opened up my shop, and decided to offer a good service, and then so now we're here.
Yeah.
So whenever you decided to do it and do it professionally and get everything lined up in order, what were the changes that you were going to go ahead and go with to make you different, to make you stand out?
A lot of things was turnaround time.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I hear from people in our community is, turnaround time, taking their boat to someone's house and it's sitting there for 6-8 months, or, pulling up somewhere, and because a lot
It's
of
aggravating. It's aggravating.
Yeah. And a lot of us are small, and you can't really blame the builder and the mechanic shop because a lot of us are small guys. You go to a lawnmower shop with a mud motor and they're turning you away.
Yeah.
Especially if you go to a lawnmower shop with a mud motor that's a fuel injected mud motor,
Right.
they're turning you away.
And it's become such a big market now.
It is.
I mean, somebody needs to step in there and do exactly what you're doing.
Right. And so I seen that opportunity.
Right.
I seen that window and I
Right.
was like, okay, I'm going to do this, there's a spot for me to come in and, open up a nice facility, and get good turnaround times, and everything
And
else.
service your customers quickly.
Right.
It goes back to this performance guy. He's impatient as well.
Yeah.
He's very impatient. He wants to go fast. He wants to go fast quick. I mean, he wants to get his toy, so
Absolutely.
he wants to drop it off. Somebody knows what they're doing, and get their boat back, and go play, So that makes perfect sense. I mean, I obviously see that,
So those things have led to my growth,
Yeah.
as far as me just being in my shop, in my house, to where it's at now, which is, I guess it's still a shop in my house, but, we grew, I don't know, 2,000%, 3,000% this past year, versus the year before. And a lot of it has to do with the turbo systems and stuff. I mean, you guys know, you make a good product, it's going to sell.
Absolutely.
There's a market for it. But, in the turnaround times, I've been big on that. And a lot of the parts are back ordered. They stayed since the COVID stuff, like they've stayed back ordered. Every now and then we'll get piston assemblies or wiring harness or something that'll come in, and but the rest of it's back ordered. So if there's not some sort of like outside problem that's causing it, like I try to stay with like a 3 or 4 week turnaround, even though I may have 30, 40 boats there. Like I try to keep them going, but it got to the point to where like I've recently just quit taking boats.
Yeah.
You got full up.
Because if not, I'll get a bad name.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're the same way. I mean, we don't oversell what we can build.
Yep.
We try to stay, if we're going to build 2,500 boats a year, we don't sell 3,000. We sell 2,500, and that's what we do. And we don't overpromise, underdeliver.
That's right.
Yep.
That's one thing you can't do in business. A lot of other manufacturers, they just want to sell. And, when you get down to it, the customer has to wait on the boat.
It just drags it out.
It's just as bad
not
as
a happy
building a bad
experience.
product.
Because you got to give them a good experience.
So how did we get to this point today? How did you become part of Havoc? How did we start doing business together? Because now we're buying some parts from you. You're doing testing for us, and it seems like we're both companies are kind of helping each other. So
I think we're both heading the same way for sure, especially with the way the water's been the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I feel like the time is right.
Yeah.
For something like this.
It definitely is. But how did we catch your attention?
The racing side, for me is what caught my attention with Havoc. As I spoke with you and told you before, like I was one of those guys that was like, Havoc's not a mud boat.
Yeah.
Like it's not because being that I've been in the industry for so long, like I have, and I'm subject to it too because I'm human, but a traditional mindset.
Yeah.
So you see a flat bottom hull, you see, a true flatter, you see the reverse chimes, you see, the I'm trying to describe it. But you guys are boat builders. You know what I'm talking about.
It's not a true flat bottom.
Yeah.
It's not a traditional mud boat.
Southern America, Louisiana, Texas style mud flat boat.
Yeah, and that's
custom built boat.
Right, and that's what we're used to. Yeah, is this flat, basically. It's just flat sheet.
Yeah. And
the reason is because it worked well with displacing weight across the mud evenly. Same as tracks, like on a four wheeler, whatever, dozer, whatever. It just evenly displaced it.
That's right.
So that flat bottom is kind of the way that we've always went, and then. To see like you take a bass boat and put it in a mud hole, you're not going to go anywhere.
That's right.
Or a bay boat.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that mindset that okay, if it's got a V bottom or if it's got ribs, it's a no go.
Yeah.
If it turns good, it's a no go. It's gonna. If you want it in a mud hole, it needs to just basically just be a flat.
That's what people are used
sheet.
to. People are used to.
That's how it's always been.
And then I said I succumbed to that thought process too. Is that like this is these other boat manufacturers that are making these flat bottom boats, like they're boat builders, so they know more than I do.
Yeah.
Right. So if there was a better mud hole design out there, then they would have built it
Mhm.
by
That's right.
now.
That's right.
But, honestly, after riding y'all's boat and stuff, it's someone that's not really, y'all are part of the mud motor community, kind of, but y'all are more geared towards the outboards and stuff like that.
Like
So,
the timber, our mud
Well-
hole came from the timber.
Well, we sell, we sell 400 or 500 MSTCs a year.
Mm.
That's a big portion of our production.
Yeah.
We sell a lot of mud boats. What we call a mud boat. The reason why we call it a mud boat because they go in the timber, they take rough water, and they go in the flats. And of course, you got video.
Yeah.
Of all this. I mean, I think you're the first person to actually expose that an 8-degree hull, reverse chine hull, like our boats.
Mm-hmm.
We reversed the keels. We're the first company that did that. And you've actually proved it. I mean, you showed it. I mean, we've seen videos. You stretched the Mod 40 out.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever thought the Mod 40.
Pull up the video of it in the mud flat.
Yeah. I mean,
there it is.
look at this boat. I mean, so explain to us what you're doing here.
So coming into a mud flat like that and expecting to turn, expecting to do that right there on a traditional mud hole is impossible. First of all, you would not be coming into a mud flat that fast,
Right.
because you're going to end up in the weeds unless you're extremely confident in your boat. And in a
Yeah.
mud hole, you're not going to be. But, this video that I took is just proof that you can stop, you can take off, you can turn, you can maneuver, you can do all these things with this 8-degree bottom on that MSTC that you see so many people kind of downplaying or being negative about. And like I said, I watched it and I was on the same page. Was, man, everybody says Havocs are in the mud and not going to perform, and they're not going to do well. But as you can tell, so that's 10 miles an hour, 11 miles an hour on a mud flat
With all that power back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time your power would just shove their ass in around.
Yeah, well, you can hear it. Well, I mean, I can hear it, but I'm running 1,800, 2,000 RPMs, just cruising. But it's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah. The boat's very efficient.
The boat's efficient, yeah, and that was the biggest thing. You saw my kids are in there. Of course, they love going out on the boat, and so whenever
Yeah.
I was trying to develop the new tune file on that new 5,000 there, because they changed the cam and some things.
Yeah.
The kid's got a chance to go out there. As you can tell, he thumbs up. He's
Yeah.
waving at his mama, but he's happy.
Yeah.
He's happy.
The whole
That-
shot. The
that's
whole
awesome.
shot's incredible too.
It is. It really
Yeah.
jumps out there.
It's good to have those kiddos out there.
Yeah, they I mean, doing what she loves is great, and then never really a job, but being able to take those kids out there and do that's also they get an excuse to take them out.
That's right. That's right.
And they look like they're having so much fun.
Oh yeah. You let them off on that little mud bank and they
Yeah.
sink and play.
Oh, yeah.
they have a
I
good
guarantee
time.
it.
They have a great time.
Have fun in the mud with the boats and the kiddos.
So tell me about, I seen a video of Quentin posted where y'all had taken these turbos, put them on the mud motor, and ran it with a Mod 40.
Yeah.
Which we don't
We
the
don't
Mod 40
recommend it.
The Mod 40 wasn't designed to do that.
It wasn't.
Obviously, you wanted to haul ass, and you did. I think we could probably design something a little more efficient for that. But I mean, it's very efficient. It's almost too efficient, right?
Mm.
So, but you did. It does run really good, and it runs
It
really good.
surprised me.
It runs really good for a surface prop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Surface
Yeah.
prop. Do we get that video there?
And the boat's so light. The Mod 40 is built so light too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that you could put a.
This is the famous video going all over TikTok and Facebook. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. But what that boat's doing right there, as somebody from the mud motor community, what that boat's doing right there, and it's floating the nose like that, that's never happened in a
Right.
mud motor just because of our angle.
Yeah.
We have that negative angle
Yeah.
on, and so we're constantly pushing that bow down because our prop is, unlike an outboard where your prop's facing the surface, ours is facing away.
Yeah.
It's trying to face down, so it's always pushing the nose down.
In that 14-degree V of the Mod 40, it just cleans up.
Well, it's causing a lot of boat lift.
It is.
On the rear end, but and it actually did really good in the mud. I mean, we also got a video of the Mod 40 running through a
Mud flat.
it's a mud flat trail or whatever you call it. I don't know what they call it in Louisiana. We don't have nothing like that up here in Arkansas. I know that. If we do, we're like, oh,
we go away from that.
I don't think we need to go down this this little spot. But let's see if we can find it here. But what you're doing with these things.
Yeah, go to the best one is that next one down, I believe.
Which one is it?
That one right there. Yeah, that one's. So that one shows what the Mod 40 in a mud hole. You can see it. It's still doing what we need it to do.
Yes. This is a very lightweight boat with a horsepower, and it's performing really good.
Yeah,
where does this thing cut?
Yeah, being able to turn in that little channel right there and stay on plane would technically be unheard of also with a mud motor.
So I mean, I'm not calling nobody out here, but if you put this boat on the water with another boat, I mean, how far? We're always about efficient. We're always about racing. I mean, are we going to win the race today or what?
If you put that motor that's on that boat, on any other boat, even though it's got my system on it, it won't do what that boat did.
That's incredible.
There's no way. I've put that motor on, I don't know, me myself, probably almost 200 boats this past year.
Yeah.
Not counting the dealers and stuff. And a stock motor with a bolt-on kit, I've seen a few of them touch 40.
Yeah.
With the wind right and everything.
Yeah, just perfect conditions.
And then the handling, like this thing's just turning, cutting, doing what it's supposed to do and running.
Yeah.
Doing everything it's
running like
to
an outboard boat.
Yeah. And that canal right there, if I was to take any other boat and try to do that right there, I would have been up in the weeds there.
You just sleep for sure.
Just gone, and so you have to slow way down. So as far as the race in a straight line and running, I guess you could, like you guys do the whole runner, right?
Yeah.
It's like a whole running race. I would have beat it.
Absolutely.
Hands down. Hands down, it would have won.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we're all about. We're all about whole shot. We're all about, speed and performance, that kind of thing. But that's awesome.
I think where we're...
Whose phone is that? Is that my phone?
I think it's yours.
Oh my God.
But it is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down, I would have never, because people have asked me in the past about putting mud motors on our performance hulls, and I've always been like, no, I wouldn't do it because, they're not designed for that, for one.
Yeah.
For two, in the past, before we changed our RDBSTs to 100 gauge, they were 80 gauge. And we don't like, crossing the fact that you put a mud motor on an 80 gauge boat because somebody with a mud motor wants to do mud motor shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I mean, the boat. Obviously the boats will handle it.
Yeah, I know.
But you get some guy out there busting Cyper knees and Arkansas timber. You know what I'm saying? They got a little lightweight boat, and they're gonna tear it up. I mean,
and that's what I was worried about.
The MSTC is built for that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you brought an opportunity for us to redesign. Not saying we won't redesign.
Absolutely.
But I believe we can do that easily. But it's definitely awesome for us and it's awesome for you because now we've ordered a bunch of turbos.
Well, yeah.
So yeah. I mean,
well, it's because we've been able to make two products come together and make a badass product.
Yes.
And that's the thing. So if that Mod 40 can do what it does and the MSTC is handling like it can, well, if those two just make a baby, it'll be like the perfect boat.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And in a way, you have now pushed us to better ourselves and come up with something new.
Well, absolutely. We're already working on it, so that's what's so, first time I met you, we talked and I could tell you as a go-getter,
Yep.
and we are too. And I think I texted you a couple nights ago and I said, hey man, how many turbos you got? And you brought us a truckload of them. So, we like that. We like to make a phone call, say, hey, get us some product. We appreciate what you're doing for us. We want to do the same for you. And that, that's how we do business, and we develop something, you test it, you build it, and you say, hey, Tim, this sucks, redesign it. That's what we're going to do, right?
Yeah. I mean, the same as the MSTC, that you guys sent. Like you made a modification to the bottom of the hull.
Yeah.
Just mainly, I want to say it was due to me telling you, like, hey, the MSTC is a great hull, but it hates power.
Yeah. It hates power.
It just hated power. And like, yeah, you're in the mud motor community with the MSTC, but like I said, you are more geared towards outboard. As soon as I told him that the MSTC ran 42 miles an hour with the Mud Buddy 5000 with a turbo, he's like, "Is that good?" Like he just doesn't know. He just doesn't know. Like, hey, that's a motor that can be purchased tomorrow. That doesn't have to go to a builder. That's also a turbo system, the same thing that can be purchased tomorrow. It doesn't have to go to a builder. And a boat that does the same thing. Like no custom fabrications, no nothing, just straight off the trailer.
Yeah, I mean,
in the water.
It's a little different for us because, most of the times when we talk to customers, we're talking about 50, 55, 60, 68 miles an hour. Our marsh runners are running 68 to 78 miles an hour. So we're used to dealing with customers that are running in the high 50s now. So
we're getting there.
Yes.
Which we've never had somebody come up to us and push us on a performance mud motor.
I mean,
never. So it's a whole nother avenue that we're looking at now.
I remember 10 years ago, we chasing the DT25 at 36 miles an hour. That was our goal, DT25. And now we're, Megas are running, they're running 55 plus.
Yeah.
The 59 cubic inch motors are running 64, 67 miles an hour. The Pro XSs are running 78, 74, 78. And now you're pushing the mud motor market to that next level. And then Havoc's going to be in there with you doing that for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, that the whole scenario has created an envision for me, and it was nice to be able to reach out to you guys and say, hey, this is what your boats are doing. I mean, and you didn't just sit there and go, okay, this is just some small mud motor guy, that does a lot of Facebook videos. You actually took what I said and was like, hey, I'm gonna look into it. Even though you guys make a ton of boats, and you could just look at me like a little pissant fly on the wall and just not care what I say, but you did, and being that you guys did, I think the MSTC is going to prevail because of it. And you can also, like I said, use the Mod 40 and some of the designs and make something and get us in the mud motor community with a boat that we can actually compete with.
Absolutely.
Especially here, because everything I hear, I've sold a bunch of kits in Arkansas, and a lot of them, they're putting them on smaller boats, but they're out there trying to run with the Megas, and that was their biggest complaint.
Because that's the thing,
I didn't know. I didn't know that the boat race was like a all duck season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have scheduled races that we go to, but y'all's race is like every morning at the boat ramp.
Yeah.
Racing to the woods.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. I mean, I have customers all the time that call me and say, hey, I need a new prop, I'm getting beat or whatnot, or, it's a big deal to our customers. I mean, you don't know how many people, I got text messages today, guys saying, hey, I'm running good, I'm getting my hole. So our customers, I think sometimes they depend on us to give them the best equipment possible to make their duck season,
y'all also have the most experience.
Yeah.
I mean, being the people that build the boats, you run the boats, the boats. So the same as me, like with the turbo system and the boats, like I'm in a different brand boat almost daily.
Yeah.
Different make model from whoever built it. Like I'm in a different boat daily. So I get plenty of people that they're not even my customers. They just see what I'm doing or whatever, and they'll call and do the same thing.
Yeah.
What prop can I do to do this, with this boat?
These guys love this stuff. Man.
Yeah, they do.
They love this stuff.
They love taking everything to the next level.
Yeah, these guys are getting these mud boats. They're going faster, and they go on the rivers, and they run these things. They go to sandbars. We had a podcast, I don't know, several weeks ago with somebody, I don't know who it was, but we were talking about how this boat industry, people will get side by sides and they go trail riding. Well, they're doing the same thing with these boats.
Yep.
It's growing.
It's definitely growing.
I seen the other day on a social media platform that there was gender reveals that they were doing, like the blue and the green out like their exhaust, or whatever with their mud boats. And I was like, man, these guys are, I thought I was, head deep in it, and these guys are all about it. Same as their, like I said, same as their side by sides.
They love this stuff, man. They get their families out and they go sandbars, they go cooking, and they just have a good time. And we're excited to be a part of that. I've been building boats for a long time, and it's to see it change from just selling a boat for somebody going duck hunting or fishing to somebody buying a boat just to run the river.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the industry's changing.
It is.
Yeah.
And I feel like Havoc is leading that change. At least I feel like we are.
I feel like we definitely have a big part of it. Our guys in South Carolina.
I mean, we want to keep growing it. We want to, help it grow. Just like our boat racing.
We want to keep pushing it for sure.
That lifestyle is kind of who we are. And we're not going out there building $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 bay boats. We can care less. We like tiller handle boats, and that's kind of what we're good at. That's what we enjoy doing.
And that's like for us. Most of our development thus far has been our hunters out there. Just beating down the woods, and then also racing.
Mm-hmm.
Racing's kind of set us apart in development because we're learning how to push it all the way.
But we're learning so much
very fast
from people like you. We're learning so much, and like you said earlier, most companies would probably just push you. Say whatever. But to us, every little opportunity to learn something about your product, how you service your customers, how we can get better, service our customers. I think our customers deserve that, and I think a lot of companies nowadays forget how important the customer really is.
Mm-hmm. And their feedback.
That's right, their feedback. Take these people serious because they're spending money with you, and they deserve first class service.
Yep,
absolutely.
I hate shitty service.
Yep,
I hate it. And I think that what you're bringing to the table is awesome, man. I think you're doing an awesome, good job.
Thanks. And I want to ask you guys, have y'all noticed an increase in, like I said, people using these boats for recreational, but have you noticed an increase of people switching from outboards to mud motors as they're like their everyday, with your sales and your
I have network? To some degree. Just due to the fact that there hasn't been a lot of water.
Well, water is a big deal, but once you all right, so it's always going to be a price point. So, once you keep pushing the speed and performance of these motors and get the speed where these customers want, they're okay with 45 or 50, whatever it is. And the price point of the motor versus the outboard, I mean, once it gets, pretty close, I think you'll see a huge change of people buying mud motors over outboards. Now, I think a lot of guys that will spend the money on performance will I talked to a customer today. He texted me today saying, "Hey, I love my MSTC." He's always ran an outboard motor. This is his first year he ran an MSTC. And he just texted me just not too long ago. So, man, I absolutely love this boat this year. So there's a lot of guys that's been on the outboard kick for many, many years that's stepping over to the mud motor side. And they're seeing that, hey, I can do this. It's fast enough to fish out of. It's fast enough to do this. So I think it's going to take some time. As long as the Arkansas Game and Fish don't keep regulating it, Florida regulating it, there's a lot of states regulating it, so it just depends if we can keep the mud motors.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at somebody as an example that has switched to mud motors, absolutely loves it, is Cuz.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he builds, 59 cubic inch engines. He builds, damn good ones.
Yeah, and he builds the megas.
He hunts out of a mud motor. He has a MSTC that he absolutely, goes to war with every morning.
Yeah,
and he loves it.
But if you talk to Cuz Outboards about his MSTC, why do you change an MSTC? Because when I get in the timber, I can turn and I can go through anything. It don't matter how fast they're on the straight stretch. When I get in that timber, that thing will eat you up. And it don't matter what boat it is, because I'm going to jump this log. I'm going to jump this. I'm going to go over this. I'm going to go over this. When I get on the other side of that log, I'm going to turn this way. And you can't turn that way.
I'm going to hit a trail.
So that's a lot of reasons why the MSCC is a super dominant model for us. But like you said, though, there's a lot of people, Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, that just says, "Hey,
they don't see it that way.
The MSCC is not a contender in the mud boat world, and you're proving them wrong."
110%.
You prove them wrong.
Yeah, 110%.
Absolutely.
Like you do, like you race, right? Y'all have mud motor races.
Yep.
Yeah.
Out there's nothing like an MST out there. Those boats are all what, custom?
Most are custom. I believe there's one racer that has a maybe like an all-wheeled or something like that. But yeah, most are custom, and especially now.
Yeah.
You know, as there was the beginning of 2023, there was only 2 custom boats. It was me and the guy I raced at Willie Fest, and that was in February, basically a year ago today. And I think now there's like 7 or 8, custom full-on race boats. I mean, we even had a pickle fork boat, show up with a mud motor on the back of it that the guy built, and that thing was fast. But so we're all progressing, but I think the industry as a whole is like moving incredibly forward.
Yeah, I think we got a video of him racing, and
you actually hold the record.
Yeah, on video, there's always, you guys know, there's people all over the internet that are like, oh, this guy's doing this speed, but no one's ever surfaced a video. So as of right now, I sure do.
That's a lot right there. I mean, if I go have open heart surgery, I want to have open heart surgery with the best doctor there is, right?
That's right.
Obviously, you like to haul ass, right?
Yeah.
So, why not buy your product? You're out there doing it yourself.
Yeah. So this whole I got together with the fabrication company that built it out of South Louisiana, and we kind of put our heads together and was trying, okay, how do we make this thing fast using his knowledge and my knowledge,
Right.
But unlike your boats, this thing doesn't turn, and you'll see. This is a cell phone video, just up there.
Yeah.
But you'll see whenever I clear these airboats, like I could just gun it, and you'll see the land up there, and I have to slow down like immediately. That there was actually money on this run.
Yeah.
At the time, there was like $1,500 on this run to break the previous record of 61. But you see the land, like I had to let off on it all the way back because I needed that much runway to stop that boat.
Yeah.
Because it's just sitting there. It's just, I'm trying to turn. Like I'm trying to turn. You see the whole thing. Look, you see it right there. I tried cutting the wheel as hard as I could to the right, and the boat actually had to come off plane for me to get any sort of control to hang it back left.
Yeah, see that, in the timber, that gets you in a tree quick.
Yeah,
that'll get you in a bind quick on a mud flat too.
We're obviously building a different boat here, but
but I'll tell you what, that's crazy to even fathom with a mud motor going that fast.
Oh man, it's impressive.
It absolutely is, and that shows the dedication and the hard work that went into getting that fast.
Yeah, I ain't never seen a mud motor go that fast.
No, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, so we built that engine.
That's crazy, 64 miles an hour.
They gave me, so I got it invited to race in, I think it was November. No, it was December. They invited me to do this race, and didn't have a boat, didn't have a motor or nothing. And because there were some online rivalries going on, so the opponent was like, "Yeah, I'll race you at the mud run." I said, "Okay." So which was really incredible. In a month and a half, that boat got built, and the motor got built. No dyno testing because it actually pulled through the dynos. So we got up to 118 horsepower, and it just pulled through the dyno. It was a 300 horse dyno, but it just pulled through it. And we were cycling water. We were trying to do everything we could, to keep the dyno cold. And it just kept pulling through it. So we could only get a test from 5,000 to 6,000 RPMs. And so from then it was just on water tuning. Well, I had 2 weeks before that day, that race to get it, and actually documented that the steps from that boat and that build. It went, we put on the water, it went like 42, and the next day it was 47, the next day it was 51, and the next day it was like 56 or 57. And then I hit 61, which tied me for the record, and I documented that whole thing within that 2 week, time zone. And I would think that also, gained a lot of interest, with me and my system, as they were like, man, this guy's like, progressing.
Yeah, you're
pushing very quickly.
You're pushing yourself too. Hard work.
2 weeks took a brand new system, on a prototype engine that we just put together, on paper and hoping it's going to work, onto a 1752 boat. And that boat's got an 1/8 inch thick bottom. It wasn't a tin can. You see the big front deck on it and everything else. To try to get that boat to those speeds, which took other people 10 years to try to get to.
Oh, that's impressive.
It really is.
I mean,
looking at how fast our racing scene has progressed in speed and times, and it took us 10 years.
I probably don't keep up with mud motors like I probably should, but I text you, I asked you that one time, is that fast, but if you would have told me 64 in that text message, so that's fast.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know what
that's
fast
a number.
is,
That's a number that,
but especially for y'all's, so
Yeah.
42 the other day for y'all's boat.
Yeah.
Now, that's the reason I asked you, what's the fastest MSTC you know of with a mud motor? And the reason I say that is,
I was pretty close.
yeah, because what the internet says, and what you kind of look around for in any video you can find, the fastest one was like 40.
Yeah.
And the fastest video of the MSTC was 40 miles an hour. Like that was it. And so that one just broke 42, like it was nothing.
Yeah.
So, technically, as far as my knowledge, like verifiable, my knowledge as fast as I've ever seen, the one that I brought back to you is the fastest MSTC in the country as it sits.
Right.
Which is, that's what I was saying. Like,
And that thing's a tank.
it is. I mean, you're talking about a boat that's got
8 I-beam.
Yeah.
I mean, it's built to jump shit.
Yeah. So, and that boat also wanted more, and that was one of the other things I wanted to talk to you guys about when I came here is, the modifications that you guys did. Like the boat lifted and it was riding right, but it almost started maybe blowing the prop out once it started lifting. Like the whole boat actually started to lift really well. Maybe like the Mod 40. And either the boat was setting down or it was picking up. Either way, the boat wanted more.
Yeah.
Like I was spinning the largest prop besides like my custom line of props, the market's largest prop that you can buy, that you can physically buy. I even cranked it up, which I don't recommend this either because it was stock valve train, but I even turned the RPMs up to like 5,200. Just to see where that threshold was. Because I was only, like my bolt-on kits are only 4,800 RPMs. So I said, okay, I'm going to give it an extra 400 RPMs to see if the motor could even try to get to that point. It may be self-governed. No, it just went straight to 5,200 RPMs, slinging that 14-pitch prop. So at this point, that boat itself has the same potential with that setup to run right there with the bolt-on on the Mod 40. Like it's got it. You may have to
crazy.
You may have to readjust, some things on the bottom or whatever. But small changes. Like it wants it. It wants whatever it's got. I mean, because you don't want to crank up the RPMs to get it there.
Yeah, you'd rather be more efficient.
You'd rather make the boat a little bit more efficient. So, I 110% see that setup is a solid, dependable 45 mile an hour boat.
Yeah.
Which we were talking about with the Mod 40, trying to make it there. But it's great because you guys already have the MSTC that's already built. That's already in the mud boat line.
Oh, it's been built.
It's already embedded in
years. Yeah.
I mean, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No.
You may just have to like change it a little bit.
The MSTC is probably one of the most thought out boat that we built.
It's a very universal boat as well.
I mean, people buy it. People buy the MSTC for outboard motors. They buy it for
They do.
jet motors. You can run jet motors on them. I know a lot of customers that run jet motors on them. You can do pretty much anything you want with MSTC. The only difference is that she just won't go out there and tote the nose like a Mod 40 or an RDBST. It's not designed to do that. Even if you put an outboard on an MSTC, I've seen guys out there toting the nose on MSTC, but they got to put a lot of setback on it because the boat just weighs so much. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to force that hole up one way or the other, and they do it with leverage.
But that being said, yeah, you're right. I mean, if we want to run like an outboard, we just go buy an outboard, but we buy the mud motors for a reason.
Yeah.
It's so we can hit a stump and our lower unit isn't left behind.
That's right.
It's so we can jump the beaver dams and we can treat it like a side by side.
Yeah, it definitely has a purpose.
It does.
And you got to find that medium range too, because that speed range, you put people at 60 mile an hour boats with a mud motor, they're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's true. You know,
and I'm not saying like, hey, let's not build it because this is America. Let's build it. Let's build something cool, you know. But like offer it as like a production boat. Say, hey, yeah, this thing will run 60, you know, in the timber. Like,
I wonder when the mud motor guy's going to come out with a hydraulic tiller. I mean, obviously it needs to be done
because that's the issue.
So like
that's a lot of the issue.
Like a tiller assist.
Yeah, or something.
So Boss Drive had that.
Yeah, they did. They did.
You know, they had that on their Boss 75 horses.
They did.
That Mercury tiller assist on there. Now, I want to say there was a big learning curve. If I remember the conversations when like we all spoke about it too. Because we have a lot more tiller torque than you guys have.
That's right.
Because our out drives are 30 plus inches long, you know, 38 on the Mud Buddies.
It's like putting a big leaf blower in your back.
Yeah, you got so much leverage back there.
You ever try to walk? You ever try to walk in a straight line with a big leaf blower?
Like a big backpack leaf blower.
I'm pretty sure I haven't experimented with it.
I have a giant leaf blower. Okay,
it's torquey.
And the other day I was trying to blow off my driveway and I was walking sideways.
Did you try to walk a straight line?
I tried to walk a straight line. That thing, it just had me going this way.
It's torquey.
It's torquey. Yeah. It's a big leaf blower.
That damn thing's torquey.
I was like, holy shit! I said, I need to downsize this thing. I can't walk straight.
Get some different shoes.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. I'm bringing the next. I'm bringing
balls, right?
Yeah. I'm bringing the leaf blower up here. I'm telling you, it's a fact. I mean, it'll make you walk sideways.
It's crazy. No, and there is a lot of torque on it. It wears people out, driving too. So like you may start the ride out fine and dandy, cutting hard, doing all this, but you go about 15 minutes in, your arm is wore out.
I got a quick story. Me and Cuz at the flotilla. Everybody remembers the flotilla. We did it for years.
Oh.
We had the flotilla every year. Well, me and Cuz decided we're going to take a mud motor to the flotilla. My God. About halfway through, I had the tiller handle. He had the tiller handle. We had 4 arms on this tiller handle. We're like, oh my God, how much more do we got to go?
And that's brutal.
It was brutal.
That's brutal.
One year I took a stick steer. That was brutal too.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
I took a stick steer, back when we built.
Didn't Derek ride with you with a stick steer?
Yeah, Derek loved that damn thing. Yeah,
oh, man.
I did a flotilla I did a flotilla somewhere in the stick steer. It wasn't that flotilla, but I was in.
You took a different boat every year.
Yeah. I want to be different every year.
Didn't you take a river rat one year?
Yeah, we took river rats. We took stick steers. We took that big Boss Hoss.
Mm-hmm. That's old 75 we were talking about.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. We had that one year. That was pretty fun, slow and fun.
And honestly, those guys were a little, I think, ahead of their time.
They were way ahead of their time. And see, that's another thing too. You can't introduce something to the public that people don't understand because they get scared of it.
Yep.
So if you're way ahead of the time, they're like, whoa, what is this? Should I buy this? Should I not buy this? No matter how advanced, how much it's been tested, people are still get gun shy of new technology.
All day. And to see a GM 1 liter on a mud motor, not an air-cooled, traditional air-cooled stuff, almost like your guys' boats in the traditional, flat bottom.
Yeah.
That's what we see. And then we see something different, and it's like, oh no, we, it's taboo. We stay away from it.
Yeah.
But that 75 was cool. I wish it would have produced a little more power.
Yeah. We played with it. It was just so heavy.
Yeah.
So that's so heavy. It was heavy for the horsepower ratio.
Yeah.
So heavy. Should put out more horsepower.
But those guys were like in visionaries as far as the direction of our mud motor community was. Trying to progress with power.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. It's unfortunate they're no longer in business, but they were a great group of guys. And actually,
absolutely. We used to do business when we used to sell a lot of Boss drives. I mean, they're good people.
A ton of them.
I think even if you look on YouTube in like 2016, I was a R&D guys with Boss.
Oh yeah.
So I worked directly with Rodney quite a bit and Doug.
Yeah.
And
they're good people.
Yeah. Because the reason that they took me on is because I kept tearing their shit up.
Yeah.
I'm not talking anything bad about them, but by no means. But they would put these products out with these people, and they would be just fine. And then they would put it in the hands of me, and it would be tore up within an hour.
Yeah.
Even so much to even Rodney was like, "Look, man, we don't have any other frames to give you right now, but I'll give you my own personal one. I've been running this thing for 5 years or whatever, how long he was running it. And it took me less than 24 hours. And I brought it back to him. I was like, yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
They're like, we need you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need you.
People like you make us better. That's for sure. I have a lot of customers like you, and we build something and they tear it up. And we're, hell, that's how the MSTC
You know,
got built.
that's how Brian Jessen got started.
Brian Jessen.
He tears everything up.
Everything up. We just had one, probably one of our best friends on podcast, Will Fagan, Ricochet. You know, he's a good family friend. And
Tears everything up.
Tears everything up.
I mean,
everything.
You can't give him nothing.
I was like, my God,
but I feel like Brian probably intentionally goes out there to say, I'm going to put this shit to the test.
He does it just to piss me off.
He does it on purpose for sure.
Yeah. So in my case, it wasn't that. I was just going out there riding, doing what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Sandbar and hanging out with friends, you know, stuff like that. And that's what I was doing. But I was using a mud motor for the Boss Drive for a different purpose than what I guess it was made for at the time.
But it pushed him too.
It did.
You know, it did push him. That helped evolve it.
But it also worries us too. Like if I get a customer that calls us and hey, so I got this problem here. I said, get that boat here. Get here.
You did it for me.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't answer, but you texted me, even though you're with your family. The first time I talked to you, you were with your family in Branson.
Yeah.
You know, but you still took time. I said, hey, I just wrecked your boat.
Yeah.
You know, like I put a mud motor on the back of it. I turboed it, put a lot of power to it. And it didn't end so well for me. And
the first thing I did tell you though is loose is fast.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, loose is fast.
Loose is fast.
Yeah, loose. It's like, well,
go straight to the point. Loose is fast. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're just probably thinking, what in the hell is this guy talking about?
No, I mean, I get it. Yeah, because you can feel it in these boats, and that's probably what drove me to these boats too. And trying to go performance is you can feel when a boat breaks free.
Yeah.
You know, like whenever you're riding something, it's got some power behind it. You know, you can feel the boat where it's like dragging, and all of a sudden it just picks up,
frees up.
Everything just gets free, and it picks up, and you're just floating.
That's exactly what it's like.
And, and it's a feeling that you're constantly chasing.
It is.
Yeah. You know, so like I said, I'm in boats almost daily, and you know, and it's hard whenever you're in a boats daily to really get to enjoy. Like I told you, you know, I was happy that the new 5000 had a different build because I get to spend a little bit more time in that boat than just a 15, 20-minute test ride, and that's all I get. But yeah, you know, it actually brings back some enjoyment whenever you get inside of a boat after you build it or whatever, and you feel it break free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that portion right there is like an addiction that you continuously try to
chase it. You chasing. And you know, there's a lot of people out there to buy these boats that wants to feel that. Yeah. And there's some that do feel it and say, okay, I don't want none of this.
So, yeah, a lot of people, I'll be honest, you know, a lot of people go and they'll get motors built, like outboards built, and they'll slap it on a Mod 40, go out there, and it's too much.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, that happens all the time.
Yeah, I've had customers call me and say, your boat's too damn fast.
It's like,
I mean, okay. I said, we used to build a stick steer. It ran like 28 tops. You know? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, every once in a while, an old man call you that bought a stick steer, say, hey, I love my boat. It runs 28 miles an hour, and I just love it. I'm like, oh, I love you, dude.
I'm glad you think like that.
Yeah. Because usually it's like, my buddy bought a boat. I got a Mod 40. He runs 2 miles an hour faster than me. You know, something's wrong with my boat.
And a lot of times it's set up. 9 out of 10 times.
I'm like, dude.
Usually 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened to me. Mine was set up. That's exactly what he told me.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, hey, you're too fat.
Yeah.
And so it was straight to the point blank. You know, he asked me, he said, what's your, you know, he thought I was like 170 pounds on the phone or whatever. And I was like, no, dude, I'm like 220. He's like, yeah, so you're like me, you're fat. You got to get that weight forward.
Yeah.
You know, you had too much in the back. And so when
it's like me, man. It's like me getting in the back of the boat. Like, look, dude, I'm too fat. I mean, you're not going to catch me in a 1544.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just not going to be. I'm going to be in 1860 or something. You know, I need buoyancy. You know, I either got to get some.
It's got to work for you.
I got to either get some buoyancy, or I got to, start eating a salad. One of the two.
Yeah.
And know, Quentin, right? Mm-hmm. So he struggled with setting up boats because he has to set boats up different than we do. You know, so
because he is. I mean, he is a big boy.
He's a big boy. He's full grown boy.
No, he's lost some weight now, but that boy's big. That boy's big. He's a full grown man.
But what I liked about watching Quentin set his boats up and struggle to get on top at the races was, despite being bigger and having to change his complete setup, he was still able to alter the weight distribution in his boat and make it happen.
He's probably the single,
and make weight.
He's probably the single person that actually made us go to a 553 race boat instead of a 550. because
just to give it a little bit more.
it's just like that boat has to surface.
Mm-hmm.
You put a lot of meat back there in the back, that thing has to surface. You got to help that motor out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of people think, hey, bigger boat's gonna be slower. That's horseshit.
It's bad. Yeah.
That's horseshit. That boat has to surface. And if it doesn't surface, you can't get up and go.
So case in point, you guys know Gator Tracks boats. I put a mud motor. I think I have the fastest Gator Tracks boat too.
Yeah.
At 45 with a mud motor.
Yeah, Gator Tracks builds a good boat.
They do, and but it was a round chine. It's an old hyper sport, and those things have always been just tanks and slow and everything else. But that boat set up and broke free.
Yeah.
Once you get that boat in the buoyancy and everything to pick up and run, and that boat runs efficient. I mean, I picked up like 3 miles an hour. As soon as that boat just
a lot of people don't understand that you can take a boat, you can run a boat, and if it don't run good, then it's just a bad boat. That's not. It doesn't matter what.
It don't work that way.
It don't matter what boat brand it is. I mean, it's just a working process. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have to take a boat, you have to work it and work it. Now, you might work it, and get what you want out of it, or not what you want out of it, and you get something that has a little more technology built into the hull. It's a little different, I mean, it's...
Well, and it's the way they're built. So in our industry, I'm sure it's the same as y'all's. It's got to be the same. I mean, water dynamics are the same across the board. But in our industry, especially, I can take, one boat manufacturer. And I've actually had this in my shop at one time. There were 5 of the exact same size boats, and they were all getting turboed, and every single one of them ran different.
Yeah.
But they all had different transom heights.
Yeah.
They all had different angles.
Transom angles.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
It was huge. It was a huge thing.
Especially in the mud boat world.
Yeah.
Transom angle is crucial.
Mm-hmm.
The weight of the boat, length of the boat, transom angle, just like you said earlier in the video, the shaft angle is just different.
It's always, and so you would figure, those boat manufacturers would have some sort of like fixture. And that's why I'm going to put this name out there on this, is because I admire this particular boat builder. It's Timber Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've physically been to his shop, and those boats go into a fixture.
Yeah.
They're not welded on concrete where they can really pull and get heated, by the weld and everything else. And like every boat is exactly the same. And not only that, that dude is out there, he's out there TIG welding, on those boats. And he's out there personally building almost each boat that comes through.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Every time I'm there where, he's actually he'd let me stay at his house his last time. Of course, me, I'm a 7:30 kind of guy. He was 4:00 in the morning. He was gone, and he was at his shop, and then like we stayed there until midnight.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff.
So I'm not trying to pull up another boat builder or anything like that.
I admire good boat builders too.
Yeah, but he's a really respectable boat builder, and the boats that we've put my systems on or mud motors on are the exact same, and it's consistent every time.
Yeah.
So some of these other builders that will put mud motors on, people call me and they're like, hey, why isn't it performing? Like my buddy's got the exact same boat. We bought twin boats that were built at the same time. And you bring them both in and you do health checks on the engine, everything checks out, and then you check the transom. And one is 2 inches higher and like 4 degrees different than the other boat,
And it changed everything.
A lot of it,
everything.
A lot of this technology of the machinery and the people building. It's also the volume of boats they build into. So the more volume you build, the more accurate each thing has to be. Because your chances of failure or your chance of mistakes greater and higher.
Right.
It costs way more money. You don't, we run 40 boats through here, 40 to 50 boats here a week, and you make a screw up, it costs $250,000. So
and it piles up fast.
Yeah, I can see that.
It piles up quick. So you got good QCs, good QC managers. We got a lot of good people here. A lot of managers.
We do. We have a very good crew. Really great managers. QC. Every boat gets water tested. I mean, we have all these protocols, set in place just due to experience. Things we've ran into in the past.
Been a backbone of a solid customer service.
Always.
Industry.
Yeah, that's probably what I've seen the best of.
Absolutely.
For sure.
You got to take care of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, before meeting here with you guys, I was a customer, and like I said, he listens. So.
Everybody that we do business with starts out a customer.
And you don't know who you're on the phone with.
No.
That's the biggest thing I've learned in my industry. is you can't judge a person you're on the phone. You don't know who they are. You
No,
have to treat,
no
you have to treat
idea.
everybody like they're the president. You better,
You never know.
because they could come back around,
Oh,
quickly.
yeah. You never know who you're talking to. You always got to give somebody the opportunity to explain themselves and prove their points and everything else. But man, it's been did you have a good trip down here?
Yeah, an eventful adventure for sure.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I know you got some parts for us to unload, and
yeah,
Absolutely.
I will ask you guys, what this may answer some questions for the mud motor guys. What's up with all the acronyms and what do they mean?
RDBST.
It's actually simple once you understand it.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I feel like y'all had some sort of formula.
So,
but you
more
talk
likely-
to somebody and they were like, "Is it the ABCDE boat or is it this boat?" And so I know this is y'all's podcast, but
No, it's
coming from the mud motor community,
yeah.
this is a question that I'm going to ask on behalf of the mud motor community.
MSTC. It's just a step transom hole.
so
Okay.
anything with ST is step
Step transom.
transom. If it's like STC, what
Compartments
the
in the back.
C is the compartments in the rear deck.
Okay,
So that's what the C is.
They're actually part numbers.
I
Yeah.
got you.
So
Yeah.
like you see DB, it's
Mhm.
just a standard duck boat. DBST,
Duck boat. step
duck
transom.
boat step transom.
RDB.
So
gotcha.
like a lot of the things you see that's like a lot of them, like the FRR, flat river rat.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, they're just part numbers.
once you know what
Gotcha.
it is, it's way easier to say.
They're,
Yeah.
just,
Way easier
they're
to-
just part numbers.
Yeah, because I didn't know either. Like when I talk to people, and I try to
And
tell
I've
them,
heard that.
they
people-
just don't know. That's just a big question that nobody knows.
And it's kind of cool. I mean, everybody, Havoc. I got an RDBST.
Yeah.
It changes up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
RDBST mod 40. It's just part numbers. That's how we track when we cut our holes and it goes through all the systems. It's just part numbers. The same part number goes to the parts and everything else. That kind of thing.
it's almost like y'all's version of like a SKU number.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
It's pretty much just a part number.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it
It
is.
drives people crazy, but that's one reason why we do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we actually get asked that a lot, actually.
We're the,
We just
we're the
giggle.
alphabet boys
Yeah, I'm
building
like-
this
I'm
time.
like,
you know?
yeah, you ain't gonna believe this. but
We
it's
we actually have the same jokes, like we go out there and we build something else. We're like, oh gosh, what is this? RDBST, ST, MST.
like our
Yeah.
one of my favorite ones is the FRR SCST.
And that's actually a boat
And
model.
that's actually one of our boat models. It's a flat river rat, side console, step transom.
Yeah, I'd be
Gotcha.
like, no. You want the FFST. Blah,
Mhm.
blah, 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 blah. No,
Yeah.
okay.
It loses some, and some people call me and they say, I got a, and they'll say it wrong. And I'm like, I know you don't have one of those. I'm like, is it a DB or is it DBST?
I think it's an
And-
ST, RDV, FR.
I'm like, send me your VIN number. And then I had to go look at what it is. It'd be RDBST or something.
That shit makes me giggle.
It is funny.
Yeah,
Well,
I feel like a dealer is probably just out there like, you want that model or that model.
Yeah. But Havoc builds a model for everybody, though. That's
Yeah.
why there's so many
Yep.
different ones. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to build that perfect boat. And I want to be the type of guy that says there isn't a perfect boat.
Right.
there's never
right.
a perfect boat.
There's not
Right.
a perfect boat,
Yeah.
The
Like,
perfect-
like whenever you asked me about the reviews on that one,
Yeah.
on that MSTC, I gave you my honest opinion, and where a flat mud hole may shine all around. For me, that would be my next boat that I would purchase for
Yeah.
for
It's a
duck
good
hunting.
all around.
all
boat.
around. Yeah, it's good
all-around
general
boat.
purpose,
That's
like
right.
perfect boat for me and what I
Mhm.
would be using it for.
Yeah.
But yeah, every boat's got a specific purpose.
It is.
you know.
It is. It is. It's just like a rifle, just like an Argo. I use an
If
Argo.
you're good at everything, you're proficient in nothing.
Yeah, that's right. That's
So-
right.
That is
That's
true.
right. We'd like to give our customers a selection of boats.
A fleet. We got something
And the
that's
price
close to it
point,
for
and the-
everybody.
Then the price point.
And if we confuse our dealers,
Yeah, right.
oh,
Yeah,
all right, what about
I
this?
mean, we're
Figure it
not,
out,
we're
yeah.
not Navajo code talkers, and we just
Well, so like our custom boats, that we're getting, some are, like a standard, hull that you're going to get now is $17,000, $18,000, $20,000 just for the hull.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
so y'all's price point is also, awesome for the consumer in the mud boat, because we're going to go out there, we're going to tear them up.
Mhm.
Like you're not going to go buy a $100,000 Allison and go run it through the or through
No,
the
you're
timber.
not. No,
You
you're
know,
not
I mean,
going
you're
to.
going to buy something that is going to hold up and it's going to get you there a couple seasons, and then you buy another one.
That's right.
And it's got the price points also got to match that.
Yeah. We speak to a lot of customers, and our Havocs hold up for many, many years. I got a good testimony from a guy that's running a 2016 Havoc. He sent me pictures. I think I sent it to Daniel. This guy's been, I've been running a boat since 2016. I love my boat. It was a pretty good one, wasn't it? Stuff like that makes you feel good. He was busting ice with his 2016. And if something happens to that boat, he's gonna call me. We're gonna fix it.
We're gonna take care of that guy.
That's just what we do. And that's why he buys that boat.
Yeah.
Because
when he gets tired of that boat, he's gonna buy another one.
That's right.
You take care of them, take care of you. Well, man, I think this wraps it up. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to hang out with you tomorrow and learn a little bit about the turbo systems.
We're gonna make waves.
Yeah, you guys
gonna
gonna build 6 or 7 motors tomorrow.
Yep, we're gonna do some training and get it all lined out and figured out and push this thing to the limit.
And we might have something new coming out. Who knows?
Yeah,
always working on it.
Yeah, this guy wouldn't be here if we didn't have something new coming out. So
yeah, I'm just honored to be here and get a chance to check it out. And we're gonna reset my own record with a habit boat.
That's
it's gonna
right.
happen. It's gonna happen.
And it's gonna turn.
And we're gonna be there.
It's gonna turn.
And it's gonna turn.
I don't need a runway to stop.
That's right. It's gonna turn. So we're gonna beat the record and we're gonna turn. And
we're gonna do it all.
We're gonna have a good time doing it. And
in a production hall.
Yes, in a production hall.
Something everybody can buy.
Yes,
that's right.
Someone can go buy.
That's right.
This ain't custom.
But we're honored for you being here, helping us. We feel like we need your help. So it's not a one-way street around here.
By no means.
We're just as excited to have you here helping us as we can help you. And I said this once, I said it again. We're living an American dream.
Absolutely.
So we like to share our experiences and help grow your business and help your family, and you help our family. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah,
they say teamwork makes the dream work. So
I wouldn't have it any other way. It's the American dream we live.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Well, man, it was a pleasure. This was really great stuff. I'm excited to see what we do.
Good podcast.
Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Check us out on YouTube for our race series. We're going to the new season. New things are happening. New boats.
We're about 45 days out for the first race.
Y'all stay tuned and see you next time.